a rude, terrible person.
White House correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The lawsuit accuses the president, his top aides, and the director of the Secret Service of violating the First and Fifth Amendments, stripping reporter Jim Acosta of his credential without due process. The White House released a doctored video last week in an effort to prove its case that Acosta, quote, placed his hands on a woman, an aide who went in to grab back the microphone.
No response yet from Mr. Trump. The White House Correspondents Association says it strongly supports CNN. Maryland's Attorney General confirms the state will ask a federal judge today to block Matthew Whitaker's appointment to be acting Attorney General. The president tapped Jeff Sessions' chief of staff to oversee the Russia investigation. State officials in Maryland contend bypassing Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein was illegal. There are claims Southern California's utility company, Southern California Edison, could be to blame for one of this week's deadly wildfires. CBS's Jamie Yukas is in Malibu.
When you talk to firefighters, even though they will not confirm at this point that that's what started it, there is a concern that some of these substations have way too much brush around them. Everybody's supposed to be able to clear their property within 100 to 200 feet.
2 people were killed in the southern wildfires, at least 42 dead in the north, making that the most deadly ever in the state. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 21 points. Don't be surprised to see Inspector Clouseau at the auction house door. A rectangular cut gemstone to rival the Pink Panther is being put up for sale in Geneva today. Christie's Rahul Kadakia.
The Pink Legacy diamond is a 19-carat vivid pink diamond, and we've estimated it between $30 and $50 million for the auction.
The Dow now down 50 points. This is CBS News.
You have enough things to worry about every day. Insurance shouldn't be one of them. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Pay off credit card debt with a personal loan from Marcus by Goldman Sachs. When you have a family, life adds up. A new semester of school, a new season on the team, and new goalie pads to go with it. Now your youngest wants to learn an instrument. And of course, she didn't pick the harmonica. Debt happens. It's how you get out that counts. Get a personal loan from Marcus by Goldman Sachs. Fixed interest rates and no fees, ever. Learn more at marcus.com.
It's Macy's Thanksgiving One-Day Sale with over 25,000 deals of the day, in-store and online. Like 60% off Style & Co. sweaters for her. Take 55% off select diamond rings, bracelets, and pendants. A great selection of boots for her. 40% off full or queen goose feather and down comforters. Lowest price $44.99. And tools of the trade 13-piece cookware set are just $29.99. Now through Wednesday at Macy's. Savings off sale prices. Exclusions apply. Macy's Star Rewards now offers benefits everyone can enjoy, no matter how they pay. Sign up for free in-store or at macys.com/starrewards.
Michelle Obama's the media darling this week with her new memoir, Becoming, out today. But a run for president? Robin Roberts asked on ABC's GMA.
2020, I'm looking at you. No.
Former First Lady is in Chicago, kicking off a 10-city book tour. Shaq's fried chicken is getting its sea legs.
Bark. Show me what you got, baby. Let them wings fly.
NBA great Shaquille O'Neal signed a deal with Carnival Cruises to open one of his big chicken restaurants on the Radiance ship in 2020. For breakfast, it'll serve chicken and egg biscuits with sandwiches and fries free of charge the rest of the day. Shaq's first outpost opened in Las Vegas last month. In other chicken news,
the most delicious union of all time.
KFC is elbowing in on Waffle House, putting chicken and waffles on the menu nationwide. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
3, 2, 1.
Chatter, NoogaRadio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
The Chattanooga Police Department responded to calls of a man firing at houses and waving a gun around the middle of 15th Avenue. When they got there, they found what they described as an armed male suspect who was shot and killed. Hamilton County Sheriff's Office is handling the internal investigation. All officers who responded were placed on administrative leave. The Tennessee Highway Patrol is investigating a fatal crash in Bradley County. Reports say it happened at New Hope Road. The car left the roadway at a high rate of speed and slammed into a tree. The passenger was killed, a driver seriously injured. Either of them wearing seatbelts. The Ringgold City Council passed an emergency ordinance which will be in effect for 30 days, which allows officers to arrest people for urban camping, which is sleeping on public land. This comes after reports of sex offenders staying in homeless camps that camp right near a neighborhood where neighbors have been complaining for years. Russell Stroud, NoogaRadio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Expect a wet, chilly, and foggy start for your Tuesday with a few early showers. By the afternoon, a little drier, still lots of clouds, highs stuck into the mid and upper 40s. Tonight, a little colder, lows upper 30s. For Wednesday, clouds increasing, a few late showers with more rain Wednesday night through Thursday morning. Looking to buy or sell a home? Real Living Southern Realty provides real answers and customized marketing solutions. Serving the entire tri-state area, check rlsouthernrealty.com for more. And I'm Soar Gene Twall, Chief Meteorologist, Patrick Poor.
NoogaRadio 92.7.
Listen to that. That's the sound of power and the call of the open road. That's the sound of the newly designed 2019 Indian Chieftain Limited. Yeah, Indian. It's more than a bike. It's an experience and an American icon. The place to find it, Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga, along with their entire new 2019 line. The open road is calling. Answer the call. Go to Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga. Just look for the sign on 153 and Amnicola. Indian Motorcycle, the true American original.
Hi, this is Scott Schrader. Tune in Saturdays for We've Got You Covered. From finance to fixtures and all things in between, when it comes to your home, we'll help steer you in the right direction. We've Got You Covered, 10 to 12 every Saturday on NoogaRadio 92.7 FM.
This is Valerie Epstein of Milligan Reynolds Guaranteed Title Company. Locally and independently owned, we've been in business on Cherry Street in downtown Chattanooga for 80 years. When quality matters, our team of 3 attorneys is able to navigate complex commercial and residential real estate deals more quickly, even within 24 hours for cash deals. Let us show you how to save money with a 1031 exchange. Ask your realtor to write us into your sales contract or visit us online at milliganreynolds.com.
92.7 NoogaRadio.
All right. Hello, Chattanooga. I am Donna Lowe, and you are here with me on the Chattanooga Midday Show. We're connecting you with people and resources and information that's going to enhance your life. And today, we have the Bishop, Kevin Adams. And if you don't know him, you are going to today. So wasn't that a fun song coming in?
That was a fun song. I like that song.
I do too. It's a fun song. Now, Bishop, I don't think that's going to be playing in your house anytime soon, but it is a clean version. Okay.
Well, you never know.
Yeah. Well, I want to make sure we know, everybody knows who you are. So go ahead and give that formal intro, if you will.
I'm Kevin Adams, senior pastor of Olivet Baptist Church. Been pastoring here in Chattanooga for 27 years now.
Wow, 27 years. And we've known you for, I'm going to say all of that time, if not through father-in-law and through other people, but you've been doing this work some time now.
A long time. I'm getting old.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Now, for my Facebook viewers, y'all know we dance. And for the radio listener, you know we dance. But I had to make sure I paid you some respect. Like, we couldn't just come in here with Michael Jackson with you, right? We wouldn't do that. So we got a little something. Now, y'all know we dance, but you have to do a bishop dance. So we're going to play something.
A bishop dance.
You got that? All right, here we go. We're going to play something. If you're out there, you can do this at your cubicle. You can do it at home, wherever you are. You ready, Jason? Let's play some music. So out there, Chattanooga, is that a way to start your morning or what?
Man, that's a great way. I feel that.
It is. I do too. And that's what I come from, the family that I come from. So let's jump right in. I've known you for a long time, but Bishop, 27 years in our city is a long time, right?
Yes.
So when you first started out over at Olivet, what did it look like? Because now it's this, I'm going to say ginormous place. When you look at it on TV, I feel like I'm kind of at TD Jakes or something, right?
Well, I hear that a lot.
Yeah. So tell us back to when it was small and then bring us to where you are now.
Well, I started out at Olivet as a boy preacher, grew up in the church up under Pastor Robert Richards, and he pastored there for 40 years. And so I was the kind of associate pastor, and he became ill. And so the church called me to be the senior pastor. So began to grow and grow and grow and just serving the community, just loving the people. And so we watched it grow from just a couple of hundred people to a few thousand people.
A few thousand. I look at that, and as a businesswoman, Bishop, I think of that as lives impact, individual lives impact. So when you think about where you are today, now, I'm going to say myself, we're friends, and I love to be able to say that. And I'm so glad and thankful and humbled that you would come on here and help me launch the show this week. So let me make sure I say thank you to that.
Let me say thank you to you for allowing me to come on. I think the world of you and your family and all that you do in Chattanooga. You help so many people. You've helped me, and it's just an honor to be here with you today.
Well, I don't even know how to take that, because my husband and I, the community, we just look at you and we feel so honored to be a part of your life and what you're doing. And so when you think about, I'm going to go to the big picture. When you think about the things we've done at Olivet and the lives impacted, what are the greatest needs you're seeing in the congregation? We know from an employment standpoint, everybody comes and needs a job. What are the greatest needs you see in the church?
Well, the needs that we deal with on a daily basis is one particular time we was trying to move out of the area. We wanted to move.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean out of downtown?
We did.
Wow.
We actually tried to do that. And we went to a church that was out on Tunnel Boulevard, beautiful church, and tried to buy that church. And they only wanted $400,000. So I'm like,
wow.
I know this is God.
Yeah.
Had all the mothers walking behind me, and they was praying and saying, Lord, please open his eyes so he could see. And we went to long story short, we went to the banks, and the banks said absolutely no. They turned down the loan. And I'm saying, God, this is going to make you look bad. I'm saying, because everybody's packed out in this church downtown. They sitting in the pulpit with me.
That's
They're standing in the baptism pool.
That's right.
We run completely.
Standing room only.
Yeah, we run out of room. And so there was a deacon there, and he looked out and he says, that's the church over there. And Joseph B. Smith School was there. And I said, I see a school. He says, no. He says, you want a monument, but God needs an instrument.
Wow, a monument and an instrument.
Yeah, and he says, you need to know the difference. A monument is just something you're going to put up and everybody's going to gawk at it.
Look at it.
Yeah, and talk about how cute it is. He said, but the instrument is something that God needs to serve this community. He said, you see all of those homeless people.
Yes.
And you see people that are, need clothes, need food. He says that if you will commit to doing God's vision and God's work, he says God will always take care of this ministry. So we went back to the same bank in less than a year.
Same bank. I hear you.
Yeah, the ones that said no to 400,000 said yes to 4 million. And
so, for the listener out there, and I'm going to say it to the listener, Bishop, who may not believe in God, right? Because, I talk to everyone. I know you do.
Right.
But for that person, that's not just something that happens, right?
Right.
So I say to you, that is huge. And that is the kind of testimonies people need to hear that people don't hear from you, right? To hear the story. We're going to talk in the second half of the show about the business side of what you do. And we're going to talk about on the second part of the show about what is the role of the church, right? And we're setting that up because we want calls to come in, but we're going to continue for now talking about what you've done. So some of the things that you and I have been a part of, we're going to talk about from a crime level, right? Now, people don't know that you and several of the other faith leaders, we're going to call it that, you guys are asked and called to duty often under the auspice of the city of Chattanooga, right? So you and I have worked on some things. I'm going to talk about some of the call-ins. When you go to a call-in, that's the real deal.
Real deal.
And I know that what's interesting, if I can say it like this, the gang members know you.
Yeah.
Can I say that?
Yeah.
There's a trust that they have with you. So you are not just behind the pulpit. You are in there as a public figure, community figure. And I know you don't toot your horn, but I'm going to. You've got synagogue projects. You've got so much going on. But with the crime level, how does someone like you get in there and build those relationships with those that are perceived as the enemy and the one to stay away from? They're the ones we're trying to capture. Mm-hmm. How do you do that?
Well, the Bible says that the common people heard Jesus gladly. And I always thought that God never wanted us to be confined to the four walls of the church, but to really get out and to be involved with the people. Mm-hmm. And we just build relationships, just love on people and find out that people have problems, but they're really no different than us.
That's right.
I have problems. You have problems. Everybody has problems. And it's about loving them and showing them the love of Christ as God changes them. You can't clean a fish before you catch him.
That's it. I'm going to use that one for my kid. I like that.
so you deal with them with scales and everything. They come complete with, with all of that. And so it's a glorious thing to watch God take a person and clean their life. And we've seen so many success stories.
It is. And, and I, as a Christian, I know that. And again, I speak to all listeners that, it doesn't matter where you come, relationships are key to life and success. And I like to say that relationships are the reason you will succeed at something or fail.
Exactly.
Period. You can put all the other variables there, but you as a pastor know that it is truly about the relationships. So you've been called quite a few times in the city to do things. Let's talk about when the Fallen Five, those are the times when people like you, I don't think you want those calls, but thank goodness we have. And it's not just you. I love that you shine light on other people like yourself. And we'll talk about that too. But you guys are called at a time when most people are running. So talk about when the Fallen Five occurred and we reached out to not only you, but other faith leaders. We have Trinae Jordan. Help me out on a couple more.
Pastor Wilson, Jeffrey Wilson in this city. It's just several pastors, Pastor Kevin Wallace at Redemption Point. And
there's Bernie Miller. There's so many of them. But you guys are called. And that's some of the things I want the community to see today on the show is that you guys are not just praying for people. You're not just showing up and giving a sermon, but talk about the Fallen Five. What role did you guys as faith leaders, you particularly play in kind of the outreach to the city and helping us to begin to heal?
Yeah, when those unfortunate incidents happen, I think it is our part as leaders to galvanize, to bring people together. People look for a place of a common bond where they can cry together, where they can weep together, where they can talk. And I think it's we offer that, and so we talked to the mayor and governors were coming in, senators were coming in, congressmen were coming in, even the president of the United States was talking about.
Well, you guys were on a national platform.
Yeah.
And I think about, my memory goes there now. I was sitting with Franklin McCauley and some of his family, but looking at it, I'm just thinking about the dignitaries as they walked in.
Right.
It was such a sight, but it was a better sight because of where it was.
Right in the inner city.
And again, going back to that monument or instrument.
Right.
It was truly an instrument that day. And what was interesting, Bishop, I can say this, I saw people in there who were from all backgrounds, atheists, Indian, all ethnicities came together. Right. And there were people, you remember, literally hugging each other and crying who did not look like one another.
Yeah, it was a beautiful picture because even though we may not all agree theologically, we did agree upon respect, love, and serving one another.
We did. And that's what your church, so your church does that. But I'm going to go back to you. It takes a leader who's willing to open those doors. Talk about your team a minute. I don't know that the Olivet Baptist team, I know that they're awesome, but I don't know they ever get a lot of, recognition. And I know they don't do it for that. But you guys don't only run a church, but you run a business. I mean, people from everywhere. When you don't know where to go to church, you know what people say? Oh, go downtown to Olivet.
Yeah, we get all kind of. Yes.
So let's talk about your team a minute. How did you facilitate, and did you have a part in bringing on all your team members and hiring them? Is that side of the business what you do as well?
No.
No. So we got a clear no. Who hires your great people because they're so organized?
It's phenomenal people. I really believe God just leads. I wish it was something I could take credit for, but I can't. God just kind of leads. people to us. I mean, we have a phenomenal administrator who worked in banking for over 30 years.
Wow.
And so he comes on as administrator.
That's not Mr. Jackson, is it?
Mr. Jackson.
He's the man.
Yeah. I mean, he can squeeze.
Yes. And look, you can go in there. He will have an agenda. He will let you know everything, right? And if he doesn't know, there's something wrong.
There's something wrong. He's the Mr. Accountability.
Yes.
Mr. Accountability. And, Sean Bramlett, she does a wonderful job working as an administrative assistant. And Elder Bramlett, she's sweet as she can be.
Yeah.
She's the one who keeps me out of trouble and keeps me from over-committing.
Yes.
And Pastor Chris Sands.
Yes.
Is
great guy.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Just phenomenal.
Your audio, like you can, wherever you are, you can watch. There's never problems on the audio. Knock on wood, I say that. And this Sunday, but you can always tune in from wherever. So what kind of programs? Again, your church is uniquely different, Bishop. I really think it is. Maybe that's my opinion because I've been there. But talk about some of the programs you guys have. Mason is 13. And it's important that there be programs that bring them in because the world is going to. So talk about some of the programs you have going on.
Yeah, we do, of course, children's church on a different level, where it's very interactive with the children's church, teens church. When I go over there, I mean, they're off the chain, as young people
killing
say.
It, aren't they?
Yeah, they killing it. I mean, they're doing everything. I'm tired in about 3 minutes trying to, I'm tired just watching them. But it's ministry on their level where they at, and just very inactive, singles ministry, marriage ministry, the things that are out the box and that really reaches them on their levels. We have a whole lot of, I get happy watching people get their GEDs.
Yes.
And we celebrate when somebody walks across stage. We just had 2 people get their GEDs and then finding them jobs, getting them in the workforce.
Yes.
You all have helped us with that.
So is that some of the problems you see? We were talking about this just kind of yesterday and a few days ago, anticipating you coming on. But, the things that we hear a lot in church, and as you know, Marty's a licensed ordained minister. The things from when Purvey was pastoring, you always hear pretty similar things. Pastor, I need a job. Pastor, my husband lost his job, or my sister, my friend, my son, my daughter. But then you also hear the relationship challenges, right? Hey, Pastor, husband and I are not getting along, or the kids are driving me crazy, or my workplace is driving me crazy. Those are 2 things, and money is always an issue, right? So those are 3 things. What are the other things you see people coming for?
Yeah, once you get past money, it's very interesting now. You have a lot of people that are facing health challenges.
This is true.
And we have to address that now in the church. Fitness. Fitness.
That's right.
And
health and wellness of the mind, body, and soul. You're right.
You'd be surprised how many people are coming now who are dealing with depression.
Yes.
Dealing with depression, dealing with despair.
And people don't want to talk about that, Bishop.
Right.
They don't want to talk about depression. But you and I have even had a conversation like that, remember? And it happens at all levels. It's when you don't think those things happen is when they come and get you.
It hits me.
I love to hear you say it. Me too.
There are times I go through it. I was my devotion this morning. People would look at me and say, "Really?" My devotion this morning came from Lady Gaga. I'm sitting up there.
Hold up, Bishop. Hold up, Bishop Adams. Bishop Kevin Adams' motivational today came from Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
I got to hear it. I'm all ears.
It was powerful. She did this thing talking about how she was battling anxiety, depression, and all of this stuff, and the medication. And she said it came from her saying yes to everybody,
Wow.
Trying to meet all the demands and going to events that she didn't want to go to, doing things she really didn't have a passion and heart for. And she says her release came when she learned how to say no.
Wow, that's powerful.
And man, she said,
I have seen that. She's sitting in a chair with a black shirt on. I've seen that.
Oh man, that thing.
It is powerful because, and it's not that somebody wants to be a know-it-all. You and I are type A's.
Right.
But that type A tends to want to care for people, take care of people.
Right.
So you do need to check and balance somebody in your life that says no.
No. Yeah.
There's power in no.
Right.
So that's your piece of information today, listener, that there is power in no.
No.
You know, as we get ready, now we've got probably about 3 more minutes, Bishop, as we get ready to go to the second part of the show. I'm so glad you're going to be here for the whole show, because the next part of the show, we are taking calls. We're going to talk about what is the role of the church today. The reason why, that's near to my heart, because I just believe a lot of people have it off. I don't think they have it right. And perception is reality. So if you think the church is supposed to be paying your light bill, showing up at your door every Sunday or something, it's an expectation. So I really want you to help us define what that is, of course, from your perspective. But the Donna Christian Lowe Midday Show, Chattanooga Midday Show, Bishop, is about bringing people together. Wow. It's about providing people with resources, information, connecting them with people that will enhance their life, help make them the best version of themselves. So I'm going to talk to Facebook. I'm going to talk to the viewers, or to the listeners, because I want to make sure they share information with me. Right?
I love it.
We want to know about events, but it's not just about events. It's events. It's about elections. It's about education. So if you are thinking that you have something to come on the show with and you want to talk about it like Bishop, now I invited him. He gets invites everywhere. So I'm just thankful he cleared his schedule for me. But I want to make sure you know how to get that to us. So you can send it straight to the NoogaRadio Facebook page. You can send it to me on my messenger through Facebook. But events that are happening, community events going on, resources, information. We're going to be talking about employment a lot, because that's kind of what I do. But we're even going to talk to the faith community a lot. I really see that faith community component being here a lot.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Yeah, because, well, to me, it's all I know, you know, and you guys are business partners with me as well.
Exactly,
so I want people to see that side that I see. And I think a lot of times people just think, oh, they're just going carrying a Bible and Bible thumping.
No, it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, a lot of planning. So so that's what this show is. I want to take time every day in the show to talk about who we are and what we're doing. We're connecting people to resources. Bishop, you've known me for a long time, and there is such value in connecting someone with that piece of information they need.
Exactly.
With that missing puzzle. And access and exposure is really important to me. Definitely, right. Definitely. I have a seat at the table, Bishop, only because I believe that people have helped me. You and I both. So I just want to say, you know, we're going to make sure we give access and exposure and help people have that seat at the table, no matter what table it is.
Yes.
No matter your zip code, and no matter red, yellow, black, and white.
I like that. That's right.
They all do. So a couple of details for our next part of the show. We want to call in at 800-8949. Not right now. 800-8949. And Bishop, we're about out of time. I think the music's going to start playing, but we're going to get calls for the next hour. You and I are going to go get a coffee break. I believe we got some Starbucks outside.
Okay.
Yeah. So other than that, make sure if you're going to tune in to the NoogaRadio show, it's NoogaRadio 92.7 FM, 800-8949. You can call in. And Bishop, before we go, we got a little blinker here. Before we go, what piece of advice do you want to give to our listeners today?
That advice that I received earlier
say no.
Today, say no.
Just say no, guys. Learn to say no. There's power in it. So you are tuning in here to the Donna Christian Lowe Chattanooga Midday Show. I'm here with Bishop Kevin Adams, and we're coming right back to listen to you. Again, 800-8949 is the call-in number. We look forward to you. Hey, Facebook, I see you out there. Say hi to Facebook, Bishop.
Hey.
We love you. Hey, YouTube's somewhere in here, too. I think YouTube's
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news. Now.
Planning Commission recommends shooting down the Mahan Gap Road sewage plant. The Planning Commission met yesterday afternoon to discuss a course of action for the proposed sewage treatment plant in Ottawa. Hundreds of residents gathered to protest its placement. Multiple petitions were signed as a show of force against the WWTA. Starting today, West 13th Street will close down for quite a while. The closure is so crews can install electrical conduit under the road. The closure will be between Cowart and Market Streets. West 13th will be closed for at least 3 weeks. And the Ringgold City Council passed an emergency ordinance after it was discovered that sex offenders possibly lived in a homeless camp on Highway 41. The council decided to adopt an ordinance that would allow for their relocation. Nearby neighbors had been complaining for months about the situation. The emergency ordinance is only in effect for 30 days. Val St. John for NoogaRadio, News Talk 92.7, Action News Now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on NoogaRadio 92.7 FM.
NoogaRadio 92.7.
Chattanooga State brings you Dinner of Firsts, presented by First Tennessee and Morning Point. The event will be a roast of community leader David Wade, who's a first-generation college graduate, and will be held at the Chattanooga Hotel on Thursday, November 29th. Proceeds of the event fund scholarships for first-generation students. Those roasting David include Todd Crawford, Joe Ferguson, Richard Rogers, Steve Rogers, Justin Wade, and Aaron Webb. For more information about Dinner of Firsts, visit chattanoogastate.edu/DOF.
I live, work, and play in Chattanooga, the scenic city. But when it comes to my next car, truck, or SUV, I'm Alabama bound. Fort Payne, Alabama, and Landers McClarty Ford. Big city selection of new and pre-owned vehicles with the small town price and friendly service. Now, I'm not knocking my hometown, but when it comes to my next ride, I only go to Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne. Their selection is huge. Then if I can't find what I want, they'll find it for me with the same low price, same great service, and only a short drive away. And I can go online to look around before I leave the house. Got that next dream ride in your head yet? Yeah, you do. Get a head start at LandersMcClartyFord@FortPayne.com. Don't just dream it, find it at LandersMcClartyFord@FortPayne.com. That's right, Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne, Alabama.
For your small business, ending the year the right way can set you up for success come January. No need to let end-of-year panic set in. Easy Books and Taxes can help set up your books or new payroll service so that you can relax and enjoy the holiday season. With 35 years, bookkeeping, individual, and business tax preparation, it's easy. With Easy Books and Taxes, you run the business, we keep the books. Call us today at 423-755-0821.
Gold, 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 and more gold. And always buy American. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, you'll always get better rates than the banks. We'll convert your silver, diamonds, cash into gold, gold, gold. Precious American gold. Certified by the federal government. Buy American. Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. 499-9162. Call 499-9162. And visit Rick at 5301 Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. Gold, 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 and more gold.
Even if you like your job, there are some things that can drive you nuts, like the anonymous coward who steals your lunch from the break room fridge, or maybe Tyler, the IT guy, who gives you that condescending look when you tell him that your computer is acting up again, as if somehow it's your fault. You put up with these clowns every single day. But what happens when you've had enough? That's the day you decide to retire. At least that's the hope, right? But will you be able to retire? Can you afford to retire? That's why you need to talk to Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial. They can't do anything about Cody, that moron who heats up fish in the microwave, but they can strategize with you on how to get the most out of your 401k or pension, how to grow your money without losing your shirt in the market, and how to help make your money last in retirement. Talk to Ron and Christy today about whether you'll be ready to retire when you finally had it with seeing Ethan walk out of the bathroom again without washing his hands. Gross. Call Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial, 423-710-2009, 423-710-2009.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
NoogaRadio 92.7's First Responder Friday.
If you would like to nominate a first responder for First Responder Friday, email NoogaRadio@gmail.com. NoogaRadio@gmail.com.
NoogaRadio 92.7's First Responder Friday.
NoogaRadio, Chattanooga weather.
Expect a wet, chilly, and foggy start for your Tuesday with a few early showers. By the afternoon, a little drier, still lots of clouds, highs stuck into the mid and upper 40s. Tonight, a little colder, lows upper 30s. For Wednesday, clouds increasing, a few late showers with more rain Wednesday night through Thursday morning. Looking to buy or sell a home? Real Living Southern Realty provides real answers and customized marketing solutions. Serving the entire tri-state area, check rlsouthernrealty.com for more. And I'm Soar Gene 12, Chief Meteorologist, Patcher 4.
NoogaRadio 92.7.
Lowe. How are you, Chattanooga? I'm here to your voice. I'm here to connect you with resources, information, and people to make you a better version of yourself. And we are here today with the Kevin Adams, Bishop Kevin Adams. Makes you want to say amen or something.
Amen.
So the first part of the show, Bishop, we talked about you, the growth of the church, and all the great things happening at your church. But now I want to kind of get a little controversial. Can we do that?
Let's do it. Might as
all
well.
right. So, everybody has their idea of what the church should be doing. But the question for today and the call-in studio line is 800-8949. The question, Bishop Adams, what is the role of the church in today's society?
I believe the role of the church foremost is to preach Christ. I think we should major in that. And then I think the role of the church is equipping people, equipping, discipling people. That means that people understand who they are in Christ.
Absolutely.
They understand what their gifts are. They understand what their purpose is. And they become fully equipped to go out and to manifest the kingdom of God in the earth. I also think that as we do that, we're sensitive to meeting the overall needs of the family. We're ministering to people holistically, understanding that people are a family unit. So we're ministering to the children, we're ministering to the marriage, we're ministering to the family as a whole. And
absolutely.
So I think that's what God really called us to do, is to equip.
So equip. And I'm going to give a few little foundational things. So, my husband, as I said, licensed ordained minister, the Reverend Purvey Hardaway is his father, as you know.
Man, I love that man.
Man, let's just give a huge shout out to my father-in-law. We know that he passed a few years back. But when you think about growing up in church, and I grew up in my own home, Marty grew up in his home. You obviously have been in the church a long time. So we have an idea when we come to church what the role is for us, right? So, but I'm going to talk about something I heard the other day. That said, if the church is not paying the power bills for the widows, if the church is not feeding those who are not fed in the church, and if they're not looking out for the well-being of that person, they're not doing their job. So let me say that again. If the widow in the church needs her power bill paid, there are hungry people in the church. The comment was, well, if they're not taking care of those two things, they are not doing their job. How do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, we got to talk about what a widow is.
All right.
The Bible deals with that in 1 Timothy 5 and also in 1 Timothy 6. It says a widow indeed. And that's a woman who has been serving the church faithfully. Number one, she's been faithful in the church.
That's right.
And then she's a certain age. She had to be over 60 something years old to be put on that widow's list.
Okay.
So she's been faithful in the church. And then the first responsibility should be that of her family.
Okay.
And if she doesn't have family to assist her, then the church is supposed to look after the widows, women who've had their husbands die.
Yes.
And they've gone on. The church should have some responsibility in doing that.
Well, there's a defined scripture. And again, this isn't a Bible show, but, it talks about the widows and the orphans, right?
Right, widows.
Right. But
James,
when you talk, am I right? It talks about widows.
James, widows and orphans.
So now let's talk about, though, again, the city. A lot of people in the city, as you know, have talked about the churches are not doing what they're supposed to, for the gang violence. So I'm going to touch on that for a minute. You are out there. You're in the trenches. You and I have had conversations at night, late in the mornings, you, Marty, myself discussing matters of the city that we're a part of. So
what is the role of the church when it comes to, especially your church? Does your church own more responsibility because you're downtown? But what is your role when it comes to gang violence? Are we looking to the wrong people to help us, or is this just a city or a county problem?
I think the church has a place in that. I mean, because gangs come from homes.
Say that again.
Gangs come from homes.
They originate somewhere.
And our churches are full of families. Mm-hmm. And so then it comes that if we can impact that, if the church can play a role in reaching some of these young men and giving them alternatives. Jonathan Thomas and I, we talk a lot about that, and he does a very fine job as well in reaching out to young men and saying, you don't have to go this way. Here's an alternative.
Absolutely.
You can be successful in life. You can do something with your life.
Something I would touch on too is that a while back, and I'm going to say a little more than 4 years ago, Bishop, there wasn't this unity of the pastors. And I am going to say that. There was not a unity of you guys. Now, I'm not saying you, of course. But what I love about Bishop Kevin Adams is that you highlight now I'm going to say it like this, your proposed competition. Now, because we look at this and we're like, what church do we go to? Which church do we visit? And the church hasn't always been a friendly place to be. I'm just going to say that. It's not always been friendly. We want it to be. But what I like about you and what you're trying to do, because it absolutely enhances your reach, you highlight, I think it's the past few weeks or months, you've been highlighting pastors from other churches. You're highlighting them because you believe in them and because they're doing good work. But it's kind of odd coming from the bishop.
Yeah.
People don't see that as a normal behavior. It's sad, but I love it.
Yeah. I had two friends, young pastors that I came up with in this city die recently. It's Owen Smith was one of them. And
I remember.
Another,
yes.
Maurice died, young guys.
Yes.
And the Lord just put it upon my heart. He says, I get to go all over the world and preach and, and mix and mingle with some of the biggest guys out here. He says, but you're really not making a difference if you're not touching your own fellow pastors and preachers at home. And so I love pastors. I love preachers. None of us can do it by ourselves. The Lord spoke that to me about a year ago. And he says, the only thing wrong with your vision is you trying to do it alone.
Right. And when you do that, Bishop, people follow that lead. So I'm telling you from a person, a citizen, from a friend, when you see people doing that, in fact, I'm going to encourage people out there, highlight who is perceived to be your competition. Now, he doesn't say it like that. I'm saying that because something about society, we just think that all the bishops don't get along, or it's kind of like the mayors. Well, the mayors don't like each other. That's not true, right? We all work together, but you're kind of breaking that stereotype. But I'm going to go to something I saw on Facebook, and I kind of feel weird saying this, Bishop, but I'm going to say it. I've seen it too many times not to say it. So Facebook, I'd love for you to chime in. And remember, you can call and ask the bishop a question at 423-800-8949. But I've seen this on Facebook, and I'm going to say it like I've seen it. You guys need to quit praying for everybody and just do something. Quit liking all this stuff and praying for everybody, and get up, go there and do it. Yeah. So I'm a little irritated when everybody says, hey, pray for me. Because there's a time in my life, Bishop, I didn't need prayer. I needed somebody to help me pay a power bill. Right. I didn't need your prayer. I didn't need anything except you to help me pay a mortgage. So I think there is a time we have to level up and say, at what point am I going to jump up and do something versus, let me like this. Let me just say prayer.
I think that, and what the world needs to see right now, a church that has something that they can, that has something that they can believe in.
Yes,
People now want action. And even the Bible says in the book of James, it says, if you see somebody destitute or in need, it says, and then you tell them you're just going to pray for them. James says, you're really a hypocrite.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. And we're not calling people hypocrites, but do something.
You can help them.
Yes.
If I know you hungry, and I got money in my pocket to buy you something to eat, what do I need to pray about? You pray when you don't know what to do.
Absolutely. I love it. And I think about, in the olden days in the Bible, you knew people by their name and their title, right?
Right.
If you go back, and I've done that when I was teaching Sunday school, but it was My name is Donna Christian Lowe, and I'm a carpenter. You're known by your name and your trade.
Exactly.
So whatever your trade is, and if it's in the church or outside the church, you should be giving that to people, whether or not you believe in God or not. It is human nature to give and to help, right?
That's right.
So because you're Bishop Adams and because I can, I'm going to bring Mr. Marty Lowe in the studio because you, Marty, and myself do a lot of work together. You okay with that?
Man, bring him on.
All right,
I
Mr.
love
Marty
it.
Lowe, come on in. We're going to grab a mic, and I'm going to turn one on up here.
I love that, brother. Bring him in.
Let me get this mic turned on. I'm not sure where it is. Marty, as we're bringing you in. Thank you, sir. All right. We know who this guy is, Mr. Marty Lowe. Can you see him back there in the back? We're going to fix that table where he's real close. But hey, Bishop, let's say welcome to Marty.
Marty, what's going on? Give me a pound. You are a Tennessee Vol, though. You are a Tennessee.
Hold up.
He's a Tennessee Vol, is it?
He is, and I'm a Roll Tide. We should kick him out now.
I'm a Vol fan.
You're a Vol fan? Hold up, Bishop. I did not know that. We should do that check before we bring guests on.
I'm sorry. I am a Tennessee Vol fan.
Hang on. Let's pray. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, for all my Roll Tide fans, we've just got Marty Lowe in here. Why? Because we got what we call the community workforce ecosystem. But basically what that is, people are partnering all the time behind the scenes. A lot of people don't see what you and Marty and myself do. Sometimes they do. But Marty, let's just open up with you. You are a licensed ordained minister, and I know that's not what you practice in. Your ministry is kind of just where you are, right? But talk to us about Bishop Adams and kind of what he means to the city and means to you and to us.
Well, big point. The idea that there are individuals who are unfortunately staunch Christian evangelical. Unfortunately, if you go to their Facebook page right there after the election, you see so many people. I don't think they would want everybody. This is someone that I've always seen. Striving.
Absolutely. You know, Marty, you bring up a good point. So, Bishop, going back to what is the role of the church, you see you see leaders on Facebook going crazy because of all the politics. I mean, you see a lot of the leaders in your role and leaders in business just losing their mind on social media, right? And that, I'm going to tell you, I would really hate, Bishop, to go get up for service and see my Facebook feed and see you go off on somebody. And then I've got to look at you behind that pulpit. Talk about that.
I can't do that. No, we're called to feed sheep, not to roar at lions and roar at wolves. And so I don't think the pulpit is the place that we use that platform, to waste it, roaring at people and getting,
absolutely,
and giving our opinions instead of giving God's word. So.
Well, I tell people, don't forget that the bishop or whoever is in front of you they're human just like us.
Right.
But at the same time, you've got to know, you got to have your own filters and your own common sense factor, emotional intelligence. You've got to know yourself what's good and what's not good. So when you see it happening, it's not good. It's not right. But on the flip side, let's talk about, Marty, I want to jump into some of the things that Bishop Adams has done recently. You've been a part of so many things. Your church, you are focused on making sure people have jobs. That's huge. Let's talk about that, Marty, the OBC Workforce Initiative. Why is it important to have people like us in the church, or at least access for jobs and opportunities?
Well, a couple things that's very important. We can't be the best version of ourselves. We can't take care of our families and leave an inheritance to our children's children unless we are established. And in most cases, that means we need help.
Yes.
We need guidance. We need information from a multiplicity of individuals and leaders. And so to have someone like Bishop Adams who understands that, salvation and the transformation to the future is important, but we're living lives here on earth. So the idea of having this unique mix of reality along with where we're attempting to go, I think it really provides perspective for his parishioners and then for all those people that he ministers to all over the world. It's important that they take the opportunity to live well here, not just looking for what is coming in the eternal.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And something, Bishop, when you talk to people are always trying to find a church. I believe that there's always that group of people that is kind of there's no residence, if you will. And so like for Marty and I, we have visited your church, we have visited Mount Canaan, and now you've got this, fantastic church on Highway 58. So the reason I'm saying that is I believe it's about access and exposure, not just to make sure people have a place at the table, but you as a bishop, and I'm going to say this for all the pastors watching, it's your job to make sure you're logistically sound and located so that you can reach people, right?
Exactly.
There's a business side of it, the market research. Where's the need? Right. And you planted yourself right on Highway 58. So talk about that. Why Highway 58? We live in Harrison. I know there's a great need, but what was your thinking behind that?
Well, we prayed about that particular area, and it does have a business aspect as well as the spiritual aspect. But if you watch us, in my King, we're on one of the main streets where everybody's driving down. It's marketing. People don't think about that aspect.
Oh, it's marketing every time every day.
Strategy.
Yes.
And be on Highway 58 now. You're one of the main streets that people drive down, and then you see billboards. And so it's a whole marketing strategy that goes along with that. And then you go into areas where there's a great need.
Absolutely.
And you find out what are the needs in that community, and you try to meet those needs.
Well, it's interesting because, you look at Mount Canaan, they took on the Kmart store there, and then you look not too far as yourself. So I just say to everyone, you don't have any reason not to go to church on Highway 58. And even past that, the different, you guys, I look at it districts, but you've covered about I'm going to say about 6 or 7 districts with your churches, sir. So you about have the city taken care of, but there's no reason. But let's flip that. It's not just about church, listener. It is about access, exposure, and what happens in the church. And I'll say when we visited your church on 58, it's a unique experience.
Oh, yeah.
It is. Now, of course, there's a whole lot of church going on, and I got to give a shout out to my family, because when you look on the Olivet OBC Highway 58, church, you don't know this, but let me make sure you do now. Those beautiful ladies back there singing are my sister-in-laws. And Mark, aren't they singing it?
Man.
My Facebook starts going, I got to shut it off when I am in church if I'm not there, because it starts dinging like, hey, your sister-in-laws, man, they're killing it.
And they're good. I'm trying to tell you, I'm so happy. I'm driving so fast to get from location to location just to experience just the presence of God.
Yes.
Those singers usher in the presence of God in such a very unique way. It's something exciting to experience.
Shout out Angel, Ashley, and Abriel.
I was about to say, Ashley, Abriel, Angel, hey, shout out.
Those are my girls.
But you know what I like about it, and I'm going somewhere with this, is that when I go in, I'm only 30, Bishop, so I feel like 30 when I walk in. I feel young. I feel...
We do have Bishop Adams in the house, right? There is some sort of check and balance here, right?
I can be whatever I want to be on the
29,
radio. So I'm
29,
30.
29.
But when I walk,
29, I'm probably going to be 32.
All right, Bishop, you're supposed to hang with me on the age thing, but I like it because I go in and I'll tell you what's interesting. My 13-year-old, when you see your 13-year-old doing like this in church,
they're bringing it.
It's cool because it's just great music. It's entertaining. So I know that sounds whatever because of church, but what it is, access, exposure, and you're staying relevant.
Yeah.
You got to stay relevant. I do not want to go to church where, I love how great thou art and I'll fly whale glory, but I don't need all of that. I need something a little more. So, but let's go back to the question. So what is it that you actually think the role is? I know you've talked about equipping people overall, but let's talk about what it's not. What is a lot of people think the church should literally be doing a lot more in terms of money. They think the church asks for too much money. How do you feel about that? I think
sometimes they do. Sometimes the church is guilty of just, going overboard and give me. And that's what I love what Brother Marty just said here a minute ago and what you guys bring to the table, because don't ask me every Sunday for money, but you don't have anything in the church to equip me, for me to financially grow. Like you don't have jobs, you don't have skills sets.
So wait. Is the church supposed to have jobs and skills?
I believe that.
I believe it too. Because before, the city government structure and all the other great entities were around, who did it?
That's empowerment.
Absolutely. But now I've heard pastors say, well, my job is not to equip them for jobs. My job is to feed into them from the word of God. I disagree with that. If that's the only thing you're doing, it's not going to work. It wouldn't work for me.
And if, the idea of teaching a man or a woman how to fish.
Right.
Versus simply giving them a fish is not only is it a historical proverb and instruction, but the idea is, pastors like Bishop Adams and many others around the communities, they need boots on the ground to help them implement this. So we feel like our role is truly that of boots on the ground and support. And we really do thank you, Bishop Adams, for all of your guidance, as well as the opportunities to serve arm in arm.
Yes. And, I want to make sure, if they want to connect with your church, it's Olivet Baptist Church. I'll say this a lot, unless you are under a rock, this man. I don't think they are, though. You know the church, but there's a church location out in Highway 58. Then, of course, you've got the downtown location. But they have, if you go over there in their campus, they've got all kinds of things going on. But if you want to reach out to the bishop, I'm going to say reach out to the church on their Facebook. They will get you connected to him. Also, you can't be what you can't see. So be intentional on where you are and who you're with. Those 5 people, listener, that you're surrounding yourself by, he's one of my 5. So those 5 people that you're surrounding yourself and doing things with, you're going to become them. You're going to act like them. So make sure you're surrounding yourself with good people. If you want to provide the Donna Christian Lowe Chattanooga Midday Show with your events, your information, something going on in the community that you want us to talk about, let's do that. And we'll be glad to, because why? Why, Bishop? Because it is the Donna Christian Lowe Chattanooga Midday Show, where I'm your voice. Hey, Bishop, they don't have to listen, but you did. You tuned in right here to 92.7 FM, and I'm grateful that you did. I'm humbled and honored to be your voice, Chattanooga. For now, we're going to sign off with Bishop Kevin Adams. I thank you, sir.
God bless you.
I got the bishop popping in here.
No.
I got to move some shoulders. All right.
3, 2, 1. Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Planning Commission recommends shooting down the Mahan Gap Road sewage plant. The Planning Commission met yesterday afternoon to discuss a course of action for the proposed sewage treatment plant in Ottawa. Hundreds of residents gathered to protest its placement. Multiple petitions were signed as a show of force against the WWTA. Starting today, West 13th Street will close down for quite a while. The closure is so crews can install electrical conduit under the road. The closure will be between Cowart and Market Streets. West 13th will be closed for at least 3 weeks. And the Ringgold City Council passed an emergency ordinance after it was discovered that sex offenders possibly lived in a homeless camp on Highway 41. The council decided to adopt an ordinance that would allow for their relocation. Nearby neighbors had been complaining for months about the situation. The emergency ordinance is only in effect for 30 days. Val St. John for NoogaRadio, News Talk 92.7, Action News now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on NoogaRadio, 92.7 FM.
NoogaRadio, Chattanooga weather.
Expect a wet, chilly, and foggy start for your Tuesday with a few early showers. By the afternoon, a little drier, still lots of clouds, highs stuck into the mid and upper 40s. Tonight, a little colder, lows upper 30s. For Wednesday, clouds increasing, a few late showers with more rain Wednesday night through Thursday morning. Looking to buy or sell a home? Real Living Southern Realty provides real answers and customized marketing solutions. Serving the entire tri-state area, check carlsouthernrealty.com for more. And I'm Soar Gene 12, Chief Meteorologist Patcher 4.
NoogaRadio 92.7.
Even if you like your job, there are some things that can drive you nuts. Like the anonymous coward who steals your lunch from the break room fridge. Or maybe Tyler, the IT guy, who gives you that condescending look when you tell him that your computer is acting up again, as if somehow it's your fault. You put up with these clowns every single day. But what happens when you've had enough? That's the day you decide to retire. At least that's the hope, right? But will you be able to retire? Can you afford to retire? That's why you need to talk to Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial. They can't do anything about Cody, that moron who heats up fish in the microwave, but they can strategize with you on how to get the most out of your 401k or pension, how to grow your money without losing your shirt in the market, and how to help make your money last in retirement. Talk to Ron and Christy today about whether you'll be ready to retire when you finally had it with seeing Ethan walk out of the bathroom again without washing his hands. Gross. Call Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial, 423-710-2009, 423-710-2009.
Whether you have marginal, moderate, or even extensive hair loss, you don't have to live with it. Finally, there's a procedure that becomes a part of you, and it requires no daily maintenance or special care. Let Apollo Hair Systems give you a free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 423-803-1011 and schedule this free evaluation today. Open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Apollo Hair Systems, 5512 Ringgold Road in Chattanooga. 423-803-1011 for Apollo Hair Systems.
Life is complicated. The Salto Agency is simple. And that's something very good to know in a world where insurance decisions are all too complicated. Taylor Salto and his team at Farmers Insurance will work with you to identify the insurance coverage that best suits your needs and provide a custom tailored solution to your home, life, auto, or business insurance. At the Salto Agency, you can get all your insurance in one simple location. Let the Salto Agency provide peace of mind so that you know that you...
WPLZ HD4 Ottawa, W224AZ Chattanooga.
Serving Chattanooga.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, the Tennessee Valley's most listened to news talk station.
NoogaRadio 92.7.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kaif, and the grim work goes on in Northern California. So far, 42 are known dead in the big wildfire. CBS's Maureen